Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we got the 5th sneak peek today for the upcoming Inhumans update, and it was early, and it caused a lot of confusion because it was accidentally uploaded to YouTube. So everyone was like, what is this new character speed drawing, Alex? And so I had a bunch of messages on my live stream. I was actually just live streaming. We were about 2 hours away from the sneak peek, and then we got the sneak peek, and so then the official Marvel Future Fight page, Twitter page, Facebook page, Danny Koo's Twitter, they were like, okay, I guess the jig is up. You guys know who the sneak peek character is, so let's get into it. We are getting Thanos' offspring, goo goo gaga. We're getting Thane. And if you've played Marvel Avengers Alliance, RIP, or if you've played Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, you have already seen Thane before. But like I said from the Infinity comics that I referenced a couple of videos ago, Thane is in that comic series. Thane is living in a city with a bunch of Inhumans when Thanos attacks Earth looking for the stones and looking for his son. Actually, I don't know if he's looking for the stones. Well, yeah, he's looking for the stones. It's called Infinity. But he's also looking for his son. And then, anyways, well, we'll get into that. But yeah, let's check it out. Let's check out the sneak peek here. So on Twitter, they said, part Inhuman, part Titan. All power. This warrior takes his steps to the throne in Marvel Future Fight. So let's take a look at the sneak peek here on YouTube in high def. Yeah, so we get our first look at the in-game model for Thane. He looks absolutely minted. He looks super cool. And then you can see in the background the shadow of his father, the shadow of Colossus, the shadow of a Titan, the Mad Titan himself. Also, if you're a JoJo's fan, this kind of looks like a stand user and their stand behind. So I love that. Thanos, Zawardo, or whatever, the snapper. And then he snaps. So let's talk about Thane now that we have him here. So Thane is, of course, Thanos' offspring. Thanos, you know, he took a break from killing. He decided he wanted to do a different kind of slaying. He wanted to slay in the bedroom, and he went to bed with another alien. Now, I'm not sure if the alien is Inhuman, but basically, this alien race, I can't even know if it's called a she, but anyways, this alien race woman, I guess, gives birth to Thane. And Thane, of course, looks like a deviant. He has the purple skin. He looks like Thanos. But he gets exposed to the Terrigen Mist on Earth. I believe it's on Earth. And he becomes part Inhuman. So he has Thanos' genetics and he has Inhuman genetics as well. It's a really cool combination. And that gives him essentially two really cool and unique powers in either one of his hands. That's how they're manifested. So if you take a look at his hands, one of them is sort of this gold kind of amberish color, and another one is like a dark purplish color. So the dark purplish color, as you can guess, has to do with death, and it basically just kills life. And what happens in the comics is that he's sort of living in a town not unlike the one behind him. That's the Corvus world boss zone, but it's also looks very similar to the town where some of the Avengers try to fight off Ebony Maw and Proxima and Thanos when they attack to try to kill Thane. You've got Captain America, Captain Marvel, you've got Hyperion. So some of the biggest heavy hitters in Marvel pull up trying to save Thane, and they get beat up. But then Thane stops Thanos. Anywho, what happens to Thane, unfortunately, before that, is that his purple hand, the power there, the death power, activates. He doesn't really have control over his powers. He's kind of young, you know. He's immature. He's not really in control of his powers. He kills everyone around him in his village. So it's really sad, but it's obviously an extremely potent power, right? And then his other hand, which would be his right hand actually, that has gold, allows him to create sort of a casing and to put things or people inside of this sort of amber casing, and it's sort of called a living death because whatever it's placed in there is not technically dead, but it's not alive because it can't move or do anything, right? So you know how you have, like, you know, from way back Paleozoic, whatever, you have like a fly trapped in amber, and scientists can actually take DNA out of the fly because it's been preserved in amber. So it's sort of like a way of preserving something in this amber. And actually, what's really cool in the Infinity series is Thane puts Thanos in a cube. He pulls a Merlin. He does a perfect cube. But it's made of this amber substance, and so Thanos is basically frozen. He's alive. Thanos is not dead, but he's basically dead because he can't move or do anything because he's encased in this amber. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. I'll show you guys that. But Thane is incredibly powerful and incredibly cool, although he's not been featured very much. He's a very underdeveloped, untapped character at the moment, but he is Thanos' son, and he's apparently Thanos' last living son, because like, you know, a bunch of other gods from old Greek and other mythology, when daddy finds out that he has offspring, he doesn't want them to threaten the throne, so he goes and he, you know, culls all of his offspring, like time eating his children. And so Thane is like, nah, you know what? Not this time, Dad. So over on over on the official forums, the Netmarble forums, haha, speaking of time, Thanos is arguably one of the most memorable villains in Marvel history. He has a strong impression on all agents since his appearance. He's been in the game forever, and he's just been dominating since the first year anniversary. Thus, we have been delving deeper into the secrets that the Mad Titan kept. We've come across an interesting piece of information, one that could lead to a power even more intimidating than that of Thanos. So they compare Thane to even more intimidating than Thanos. The Sun awakens, and we got Thane. We urge all agents to remain carefully vigilant as we explore the background of his new potent power. However, much remains unconfirmed. Is he a hero or is he a villain? I think that's what a lot of people are going to be wondering about. We will further investigate and deliver more important news based on our findings. So, I think the first thing we can definitely say about Thane is that he basically has to be universal, because he's half Thanos, and Thanos is universal, and then most of the Inhumans are universal as well. Well, not all of them, but the main ones are universal. You've got, of course, Medusa and Black Bolt, who are both Inhuman and thus universal. Not the other one. The other ones aren't, but those two are. So I think it would be strange, given Black Bolt and Medusa and Thanos, it would be strange if he was not universal. But will he be a hero or will he be a villain? I think that's really what it's going to come down to. So let's talk a little bit more about Thane now, so you guys can get a feel for his power level and what he does in the comics and so on and so forth. So obviously the very first introduction for the character that you're going to want to read is that Infinity series that I showed you guys earlier, where basically the Avengers are busy with the Builders in space, and so the Thanos and his Cabal, the bad guys, take that opportunity to attack Earth because Thanos is looking for his son. We don't know it's his son at the time. It's this Infinity series. We don't know it's his son at the time, at the very beginning, but we end up finding out. It's a very, very cool series, and that introduces you to Thane. And Thane is actually really cool. He has this suit that was made for him by Ebony Maw, and Ebony Maw basically made that suit sort of to coerce him to get Thane to be on his side, but also to allow Thane to control his powers. So Thane is really seen as you know, baby Thanos taking his first steps. He's still stumbling through life. He's still not really sure what he wants to do. He's kind of easily manipulated. So he's not a very interesting character in the comics per se, because a lot of times it's sort of like an older person or a wiser person's hand on his shoulder guiding him, whether it's Ebony Maw, whether it's Death, whether it's this guy Knife, Knife something or something Knife, that's looking for the Black Vortex, this sort of power. There's always someone trying to use Thane to their end, but that really speaks to his power level, because really powerful beings are already seeking him out to try and get what they want, and also try to, you know, keep other more powerful beings away who may try to interrupt or stop them, maybe potentially even Thanos himself. So they get into a lot of fights because of that. Of course, there's the one right away on Earth where they're fighting, and Thane ends up encasing Thanos in amber, and I believe that one is right here. It looks so cool. He just cubes him. And there's a Hyperion who took an absolute beating. Hyperion got obliterated before Thane did this, and then you have Captain Marvel there also recovering from a pretty bonkers battle. So yeah, that's what Thane did to Thanos. Now Thanos does end up getting his revenge, but Thane goes on some pretty decent adventures, and one of those adventures, as you can see there by the thing on his chest, could be alluding to a future uniform for Thane already. Just like Namor, Thane might start out one way and then change and transform into another type of character, maybe hero to villain, or maybe just become a Phoenix host, because Thane was already a host for the Phoenix Force. That's right. And he used that power to almost kill his father. And in that situation, that comic run, he was being manipulated by Death. And so you have the Phoenix Force there behind him. It's some really cool drawing, some really cool, symbolism there. And Thanos is broken and shattered and cracked and beaten. And Thane's literally so powerful with the Phoenix Force that he leaves his father to die. Anyways, Thanos ends up getting revenge, but, Thane is really strong. But like I said, he's constantly being sort of manipulated or schooled, sunned by Ebony Maw and others. So it's really unclear. It's very, very unclear from the comics whether... Oh, hang on. whether he's going to be a hero or a villain. My personal guess, if I had to say, Thane is going to be a villain. I think that's how Marvel Future Fight is going to interpret this character. His powers don't really lend themselves to being, you know, a hero. He literally kills any life with one hand, and with the other hand, he traps you in amber to basically just die alive, living death, right? Now, he was known as a healer before Thanos got to Earth. In the Inhuman village that he was in, if you look it up and it talks about his powers, he did have the power to heal. However, that power to heal sort of gets put on the back seat as soon as Ebony Maw comes in and gives him this armor, and he really starts toying with his powers on a larger scale. He doesn't really go into the healing mode as much, so I don't really have a lot of information or even panels of when he actually ends up healing people actively. But it is told in his lore that he was a healer in the village, and that's why the villagers respected him, and that's why he was allowed to stay, despite the fact that he looks like Thanos, etc. So yeah, maybe he'll have a healing skill, maybe he'll have like an AoE heal for his teammates. He could be a hero, it's possible, but I kind of doubt it. Now, this is really funny. This doesn't really have to do with, well, it kind of has to do with Thane. This is, in the comics, this was, well, you can sort of tell there's someone there, and that's Thanos in a in a Speedo or something like that, and he's getting out of bed, and can you check on the baby? And guess who that is? That's Thane. And of course, in typical bad father fashion, Thanos is like, yeah, I'll check on the kid, and then he just dips and leaves, because obviously, why would you ever expect Thanos to be a good parent, right? He's Thanos. So yeah, it's very, very cool that we're getting Thane. I'm actually quite hyped for him. I think he's a very cool character. It's nice that we're getting him first. Marvel Future Fight has a lot of firsts. You know, the House of X characters, Professor X, the new Magneto, etc. And now we are getting Thane. So I think that's awesome. I personally would like a universal villain. A lot of people are also speculating how much he's going to cost. Whether he's going to be a native tier 1 character who can go up to tier 2 and possibly tier 3, like Namor, like an 800 cost CCF character. Or is he going to be native tier 2 like his father and require Black Antimatter and Chaos Nordstones to get up to 6 stars? And then, of course, maybe possibly get to tier 3. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think he's going to be tier 3-able because of Black Bolt. They don't seem ready yet to bring in multiple tier 3s per update. But he could get an upgrade mid-month and become a tier 3. We don't know. I also don't know if he's going to be native tier 2 or not. It kind of makes sense for him to be native tier 2 because of Thanos. But he could just be he could be like Namor, right? Namor is still very strong. That could mean that he's also paywall. It could also mean that he's not paywall. We don't really know what to expect of the character at all. At this point, everything is up in the air and everything is on the table because, actually, not everything is up in the air. Everything is on the table because we got Abomination in the Danger Room. So some people are even saying that we could get another Danger Room character, you know, in the very next update for Thane. So yeah, you know what? It's sure. Anything is possible at this point. So basically, my advice to you is just hoard all of your resources because we have no idea what is coming. It's a very bizarre update. It actually turns out that this update is both of the comic runs that I speculated that it was. It is both Inhumans versus X-Men because we have Dazzler and we have those clues there, but it also appears to be the Infinity Saga where Thanos tries to kill Thane. And then the Inhumans get involved that way with, you know, Supergiant and others attacking Atalan and taking Black Bolt prisoner, taking him hostage, mind controlling him. So I still think this is our best shot at getting a Supergiant world boss. I really hope she gets a rework. I really hope that, or if she doesn't get a rework, they can replace her and Thane can be the new world boss. And you have to fight him and get his bios. I don't really care, but they need to do something here for this day, and they need to do something for this, what do you call it? This Odin's Blessing, because we want to farm these. We actually want a chance at those dropping. So yeah, he could be a world boss. It could be a Thanos GBR where you fight to get Thane bios. It could be a Builder GBR where you fight to get Thane bios. It could be tons of things. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think it is, how we're going to be getting Thane, and how he's going to work in the game. Hopefully there are game mode surprises just around the corner. The live stream is today, later on. So get your butt over to twitch.tv/Cynicalex. We will be there live reacting to everything and breaking all of this new stuff down as we see it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.